Hi, welcome to Cherie's weight loss journey. Whew, it's another cold one, and I'm moving kind of slow, so hold on, gotta get moving. Hi, okay. Um, like I said, I'm moving kind of slow. I been trying to warm up my bones. I did my lightweight exercises. I took my A, B, C, and D vitamins with my code Q10. I have my 45 grams of protein mixed with 15 grams of fiber and the collagen. I did get my deliveries yesterday while at work, and they were still there, unbothered until I got home. I had a half an hour of PTO. I took it. I took it. Okay? And like I said, I have no problem with taking it because the traffic is so bad. It is so bad that, I'm like, hey, look at me however you want. Think of me what you want. Best thing to do would be to ask me, but nobody asks nowadays. People assume they know it all, right? And then when they're wrong, they blame you because they're like, you should have told me. You should have told me. Like, what you didn't ask. Why would I just give you information that we can assume that you already know? Yeah. So my main focus is to just get through today. If I can get through today, then I have another, period of time to recuperate and, do it all over again. I'm wondering if they're going to announce how, employees who have Prime can, exchange, well, not exchange, but stop paying for Prime, because we're supposed to get that benefit for free now come the first of the year, which is only less than 10 days away. Let's just say it like that, because today is the 22nd, 3 days away from Christmas. I have my protein snacks. Oh, but I didn't bring any chips. Oh well. Probably didn't need to bring them. I got 3 eggs, 1 hot link, 2 Greek yogurts, some protein cereal, right? Because yesterday when I was eating the protein, um, I was I was full, but I mean, I wasn't hungry. Let me rephrase that. I wasn't hungry, but I wasn't full. Okay? There's a big difference. So today I brought 2 Greek yogurts and a protein drink. I also have several Quest protein bars. I have several Atkins protein drinks, and I really should be okay. I really should be okay. Yesterday I did buy a soda and a Starbucks Zero vitamin drink, which, was pretty uplifting. But I had forgot that I had my my vitamin C, in my pocket, which is what I should have took instead of, trying to, get doped up with that, those expensive drinks. Today I have 2 1,000 milligram vitamin C's, because vitamin C not only boosts your immunity, but it also gives you more energy. Okay? Or at least it does me. Okay? And it does a lot of other people too. So don't knock it until you try it. Another reason why I was glad, that I left a little bit early, because I'm telling you, at the end of the shift, oh my God, the malfunctions of the equipment and the merch on the floor, it's just irritating. And that was one of the conversations that, I had, with one of the managers, is that, hey, I'm already starting to cool down with all of this stoppage. She was like, yeah, I know, you get into your zone and then, you have to stop and then build yourself back up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to try to deal with it the best way I can, because, I'm trying to do my best job. So, today is definitely seems to be a little bit warmer out here than it was yesterday, because the temperature gauge says 41 degrees Fahrenheit. And wow, look at those bright lights. Isn't that amazing? It's like amazing bright lights just peering in on you. Yeah. So, and it's a truck, and they love to have their lights. It almost makes you wish that, you can like elevate your car so that, they can't just peer into your car and light your car up, But that's okay. You would think that he would have enough courtesy to, to stay a car length or 2 back behind your vehicle, knowing that that's some bright lights. But, definitely probably a man, right? Inconsiderate man. people who never in their wildest dreams would ever put themselves in your shoes, right? Never. And when it happens to them, like say, if the positions were reversed, oh my God, he would have a total meltdown. He would have a total meltdown. Right? He would probably think about 1,000 ways to, to tint his windows to where, bright light like that can't, penetrate his vehicle. One of the projects that I'll have this week is putting together the futon. Because the futon that they have today is different than the futon that they had yesteryear. Right? Yesteryear, the futons, they came with a sloppy, saggy, pillow. It was huge, right? And you put it on what looked like, a bench, right? And then the bench would lay out, right? But today, the modern futon looks like a couch. And it even has cup holders in the middle. It's just like, I have bought one of those for my daughter who's in Alabama, my oldest daughter, where she didn't have any furniture, and I went to go stay with her, right? I was like, look, you don't have no furniture, no problem, but I ain't sleeping on the floor, so I went to Walmart. We grabbed one of those futons, and I slept on that futon while I was visiting with her during 2020. Yeah, during 2020. And she had just moved down there to Alabama from Ohio. So, now here's the thing about her, right? She's very different, right? Very different. Because with her, I'm always unsure on how to treat her. She tells me that I would understand her better if I was in my emotions. And I was telling her, I said, look, I got one cup, and that cup I usually save, for my partnerships, and to sit up here and tell me that I need to be more in my feelings, to be more in tune with you, I think it's an injustice. It's an injustice. But anyway, getting back to what I was talking about, I tried my best to be supportive with her, and she would always have these weird feelings of, wanting me to support her, but then having uncomfortable feelings when I am there to support her, because she's not in control of her feelings. She doesn't have emotional IQ high enough to control her own feelings, and she tries to control the emotions of the people around her, thinking that she has control. And I'm looking at her like, live and learn, baby, live and learn, okay? never know when, or if I should initiate, contact with her. Right? She's the type of person, if you initiate contact with her, then, like I said, she tries to control the whole emotional atmosphere of the contact. And I'm like, okay, can you just let me know? Can you let me know when the contact is enough? Because for her, she latches on emotionally until she gets distracted with other feelings. So if I call her and I'm talking with her, she won't just say, well, okay, it was nice talking to you, bye. There'll be a lot of dead airspace. And I'm like, what does this mean, this dead airspace? And now, just because I say I'm not emotional, it doesn't mean that I can't pick up on other people's emotions, because I can. I'm an empath. That's the difference between being an empath and being emotional. I'm one of those rare people that can, identify, pick up on the emotions of other people and not get consumed by those feelings. Which, always put me on the outside, because people are like, why aren't you riding this emotional wave with us? And I'm like, yeah, I am mentally, riding your emotional wave. And they don't get it, because, of course, they don't understand why, I'm not projecting the same emotions that they're projecting. So for them, they think I'm fake. You're fake, and I'm like, no, I'm not fake. I'm just a very cerebral type of person. And they're like, cerebral? Now, one of the things, that, I had taught my daughter, when she was growing up, that I had allowed her, to absorb information very quickly, is, I got my daughter involved with Hooked on Phonics, because that's what they had going on at the time, Hooked on Phonics. And once she was able to read, I was telling her, since you know how to sound out words, I would have her read some of my textbooks, because I was in college at the time. And even though she didn't have the full concept, the cognitive, concepts, she was able to read. And so reading that information had actually, gave her, subconscious downloads, right? This is like where, as a child, I was training her to read information, to pronunciate words, even though they were beyond her understanding, she was speaking them, right? So she ended up being a very, highly, intelligent person. Of course, she feels like this is who she is naturally. And I'm cool with that, because, whether you consider yourself to be intelligent naturally or as a result of building yourself up, both are great. Both are great. But she doesn't remember that, right? We talked about it one time when she was in her 20s, right? And she's probably forgotten about that, right? Right now, I really don't know how to deal with her ever since she had her brain aneurysm. When she had a brain aneurysm and she almost died, and her boyfriend had kept her on CPR until, the emergency team came in and took over, and then she had to have brain surgery. I really, don't know, the severity, of the damage, however, it wasn't as extreme as they said it could be, which was she would be one of those people that would blurt out every thought and yeah, with no filters, no breaks. It never got to that extreme. Everybody was happy about that, right? But those people, who knew about, her aneurysm, they just sort of, step back, and kind of like myself, not sure, how to proceed, if whatever she's doing or saying is, unobtrusive or, ultimately unconsequential, then, you just kind of let her do her thing. And that was one of the things that I was thinking about, this push-pull, tug-of-war situation that, occurs with her, because, she's like a lot of the Manilios who, they blame you for showing up, and then they blame you for not showing up. Okay? It's just like, what the hell, right? And then they'll blame you also for showing up in intervals. It's like, well, if you're going to show up, then you need to be a present energy in my life, and it's just like, that's something to consider, right? They never ask why. She never asked why, I will say things, right? Because she's afraid I'm going to give her a lecture. right? I will definitely give her an hour-long lecture as to why I say what I say, and she don't want to hear it. So a lot of times, because I'm too impatient, to consider, her emotions, because to me emotions are very subjective, right? And I did try to test her temperature. Hey, how's it going? How you feeling? Right? And thinking that, if I ask her, that she will actually, tell me. But no. I don't think telling me I'm okay, it's all right, is enough to, actually, get enough information on how to proceed with her. And I guess because, she struggles with the notion that, that everybody walks around there, how you doing? Right? And not really wanting to hear how you're doing. They just want you to politely reply back, I'm fine, how are you? Right? Whereas me, if I'm asking you how are you doing, I actually want you to tell me, your basic overall emotion. That way I'll lock in on your emotional state at the time and proceed appropriately, right? But you can't do that if people won't be transparent and honest. Okay? But me, if somebody was to ask me, hey, hi, how are you doing? Come see, come saw. Right? That means iffy. Right? Like a this or like a that. Right? Or I'm fine, or I'm tired, or I'm great, fabulous and, and marvelous, right? But, because of the way people have, utilized, that statement, how are you doing, as a salutation. How are you doing? Right? When I first recognized that it was a salutation and that they really didn't want a reply back, I used to reply back to them, how are you doing? Right? So it was just two questions out there in the atmosphere, because they used it like a salutation. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Most people didn't catch on to that, but so most of the time, I just hope that she's doing well. You know, of course, as you can see, I have my own problems to deal with. I believe she's, oh, shit. This year, she turned 40, I believe. Yeah. This year she turned 40. So she's not a young child anymore. And when she was a child, she didn't like being treated like a child. And it's so weird that now that she's an adult, that she still, has me, questioning, what kind of an adult does she want me to treat her as, right? Because it's very hard for me to instill upon her that, yes, you are an adult. You are an adult. But every time you get older, I get older. Right? It's weird how, kids will think because they become an adult that they caught up with you. And it's like, no, you haven't actually caught up with me because, now, I'm a senior citizen. You may be a full-fledged, adult, but I'm a senior citizen. And the two are not the same. Okay? So, yeah. Some of the things, that I grapple with, having children. So, needless to say, I don't feel appreciated by my own child. And even though she may go through some of the same things that I went through, and even though she may have spent most of her 20s saying that she would never handle the situations the way I handled them, only to find out that, yes, when dealing with the same type of situations, she ended up handling those same type of situations the same way that I handled the situation. So she did admit it once, but when you're a feeling type of person, because the feelings change all the time, moment to moment, second to second, it will be like, yeah, they acknowledge that feeling, but then, they're on to other feelings, which, kind of separates, a person like myself who is very cognitive rather than emotional, even though I understand emotions, right? It's just not my main operating system. So, my thoughts, my beliefs, last a lot longer than my emotions. And, right now we have a lot of people who are grappling with, their feelings, and, you know, if we say that, our feelings is like the moon, well, the moon goes through a different house in the celestial sky every 2.5, minutes. And while it's going through a house, there are different percentages of that feeling. That's why I understand the feeling so well. So today's conversation, was brought about because, I did get this futon. The futon was the same futon that I had bought my daughter, when she made the move to Alabama and she didn't have any furniture. Yeah. But I love my daughters very much, and I don't expect them to be like me. My hope and desire is that, they'll be more than I ever was. And, they might even feel like, me saying that is a problem, right? Because they will automatically assume that I'm putting, too much pressure on them, right? To be more than I could be. And I'm living vicariously through them. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm not. My thing is, hey, you wake up every day and you just do your best job. That's it. Whatever it is. Because that's how I wake up. I wake up, and even though I'm not perfect, I could have a very, like today, moving slow, not, energetic, enthusiastic, right? I still, tell myself, well, this is what you have to do, just do it, do the best you can, right? Just make sense of your world. Yeah. So, you have a lot of Manilios that are very upset, because, the differences between people have made them compatible, and that, they, have not been able to, sustain, lifelong partnerships with people. And a lot of our relationships had huge age gaps, right? Most people, they didn't really, hang out or marry or get into partnerships with people their same age, within their same peer group. They just didn't. Even if there's a 4-year gap, right? If you think about it, our school system is pretty much based off of 4 years, right? Secondary school can be 3 to 4 years. High school could be 4 years, 3 to 4 years. College can be 2 to 4 years. Those who go beyond, it could be 6 years. Just that concept alone, right? kind of lets you know that people are at different developmental stages, you know, in their intelligent levels. And one of the biggest problems, you know, that we had growing up was a lot of people did not finish high school, right? A lot of people did not go back and get their GED and then get, you know, some college, you know, and then they're dealing with a lot of fellas, you know, who, you know, are very hard to communicate with because, you know, they don't have the vocabulary. And even sometimes they think they have the knowledge of that vocabulary, but what they really have is they have communication bias, right? They communicate based off of what they and their peer group know, or how they utilized, you know, their language. And if you know you're a type of person that didn't stay in your community your whole life, right? Because people generally don't do that nowadays. You know, people are moving to other counties, other states, other countries. So, you know, you have to be very pliable and flexible when you do that. So that's why I'm like, okay, you know, in order to overcome this communication bias, the best way to do that is to travel. And the people who travel, yes, they face a lot of cultural shock. They face, you know, questioning their communication bias when they start to see that, you know, when you travel, you have to have a medium in which, you know, to communicate. Like, you have to negotiate, you know, how to communicate with people that didn't grow up in your neighborhood, that didn't grow up in your city, that didn't grow up, you know, in your part of town or in your country. And a lot of people who travel, you know, they become more internationally aware. So yeah, I'm going to shut this down and go inside because it's still cold out here. And hopefully, you know, I'll get through this day without a wreck, you know, that everybody will be cooperative and not so communicatively biased and more open-minded to ingesting, you know, the unfamiliar. Bye.